Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'aventure? Ah, mais c'est le président. Un pauvre qui vote pour celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Ah, mais c'est le président. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux. Des vieux. Des vieux. Des jeunes prennent le chemin de la Libye pour devenir des esclaves. Oh, eh. Eh. Des jeunes prennent la route du désert pour entrer en Europe. Oh. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Sonia Touko. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. À la présidence, il y a un vieillard. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux, des vieux, des vieux.
Hi, greetings to the beautiful people of the Cameroons, the beautiful people of British Southern Cameroon, and the beautiful people of La République du Cameroon. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a party political broadcast by myself, Maître Mola Alex Ntiveli Singer, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Ladies and gentlemen, because you take an illegal act doesn't make the action that you took to be legal. If you do something where it be illegal, the thing pass through. It don't mean say because you don't use that legal act, it means say the thing be legal. Ladies and gentlemen, today, I want this message to reach Ngongo, Ayolo, Mama Shanta, and I want it again to reach all these non-functional opposition leaders, especially Barrister Akere Muna. Because today, I want to say something that's very important. Why is Quebec different from the rest of Canada? It is because of their distinct French culture, heritage, French language, civil legal system. That is why Quebec is different. Is Quebec a province in Canada? Yes. Province, I will use interchange. Province and region is almost similar thing. So Quebec is a region in Canada, but because of their different cultural heritage, identity, they are autonomous. They have their own parliament. They have their official language is French from the rest of Canada. So they are a region. So because we confuse region in the Cameroons, your identity is not region. I expect people like Barrister Akere Muna, who studied law in England and was called to Lincoln in 1978 when I was a baby. My mama be still carry me. When Barrister Akere Muna studied law for England, they call it for Lincoln's Inn, where he become a barrister. My mama be still carry me 1978. Because when we talk about Anglophone problem, Akere Muna they work at the make koni, make he can call a spade a spade. I'm a solicitor of England and Wales. I be lawyer, I practice law for London, me. So when I see a fellow person like Barrister Akere Muna He make like chameleon. I'm not happy. Because he get to know what I'm saying more than myself. And I will proceed. I must make this clear. In politics, you come and you scrutinize and hold the non-functional government and opposition into account. Barrister Keremuna must know what I'm talking about. So those who are against the opinion of others are the problem in our society. They want everyone to live in their dogma. British Cameroon National Party is a nationalist party. They want a sovereign national conference. We want a parliamentary system. We want equal status. What we are calling for, CPDM, they don't want it. Barrister Keremuna and other political parties, they are not with it. That's why I'm putting the point, these facts, these legal facts. And if somebody like Barrister Keremuna wants to be a presidential candidate, he must be telling the truth. And I'm going to tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. If he wants to be president in La Republique, good for him. But he should speak the truth. I continue. Why is Catalonia different from all the other part of Spain? Why? Why? Because it has got a unique language. Catalan. Unique identity. Unique history. A strong regional system, identity. Catalonia, ladies and gentlemen. Is Catalonia a region in Spain? Yes. Catalonia has got its own parliament, police force, anthem, different from the rest of Spain. There is still a province, just like Canada, which is a province, a region. I will explain why I'm saying these things. Why is Scotland different from England? It is due to an independent history, distinct legal system, and an educational system. Scotland have got their own language too. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me use La Republique language. These are one and indivisible countries. Canada, there are other ones. I just use these three for example. Spain and Scotland. You have Flemish, other ones. I'm using these three. These are countries that they can say they are one and indivisible. But ladies and gentlemen, when it comes to politics, you cannot deny somebody's democratic right to say a country is one and indivisible. In politics, I might stand in London today. I say, this is my own area in London. I want it to be independent. And I stand for election. Nobody will stop me. It's not illegal. It is not illegal. If the people around this area, they vote for me, fine. But it's a difficult task. If I say I want to make my part of London to be independent, I'm sure I will have 0 votes. Why? Because these people here, they don't have the type of problem we have in the Cameroons. La République de Cameroon is afraid for us to do politics. I don't want to negotiate with them. I'm not saying I want to negotiate with them. I don't have the mandate. I don't have the mandate. I can never say, La République, come on a table, let's two-party discuss, because I don't have a mandate. But as a leader of British Cameroon National Party, all we need, La République du Cameroon should make the feel that we must go there and stand as parliamentarians. People of the Cameroons, all over the world. An Englishman in Cameroon is an Englishman. An Irishman in Cameroon is an Irishman. A Frenchman in Cameroon is a Frenchman. But you people call us diaspora. Diaspora is not a nationality. If you're from the Cameroons, you're in England, you're Cameroons. If you're from the Cameroons, you're Canada, you're in the Cameroons, it's not diaspora. So some of you think that because you're in the Cameroons, you're more Cameroonian than people who are out of the country. No, you're not. Take note. The current Canadian Prime Minister was working here in London. Now he's the Prime Minister of Canada. So diaspora, as some of you call it, and you people in the Cameroons, we have equal rights. As I continue, the Cameroons, most people are not telling you the truth. As they call us, Northwest and Southwest in the Cameroon, is it a region? Yes, it is a region. It is a region like Canada, Quebec rather, which is in Canada. They have their parliament, they have different cultural identity, like people of British Southern Cameroon. Catalonians too, they are part of Spain, they have their parliament, they have different identity to the rest of Spain, they have their language, like the people of British Southern Cameroon. Scotland is a region in the United Kingdom. There are 12 regions in the United Kingdom. Scotland is one of them. But they have their parliament, they make their own laws, they have given them decentralization, they decide on their economic, transport, policing, agriculture, fishery, local government, forestry, environment, equal opportunity. But they are in the same country. So ladies and gentlemen, when people come to the Cameroons, you want to exercise your political right, they say Cameroon is one and indivisible. Because I have a nationalist political ideology to make sure that we are independent. France does not control British Southern Cameroon. France does not make our money. France does not be the first person to harvest our natural resources. France should not impose French institutions like ENAM, ENS, École Normale Supérieure, Gendarmerie in British Southern Cameroon. It doesn't mean my Bakwere brother who believe in CPDM, it doesn't mean I'm against that brother. It doesn't mean my Betty, I'm talking blood relationship. We are happy. I don't have any problem with my Betty blood relationship. It's a difference of political opinion. In politics, I come here to scrutinize people who have different ideology and their ideology doesn't work. Because people will come and tell you in the Cameroon, oh, this is our manifesto. Ladies and gentlemen, all the political parties that were registered in the Cameroons, their manifesto is in territorial administration. You cannot have another manifesto. So they are fooling you, they are scammers. You cannot say I'm going to do, except you go to territorial administration, you withdraw the manifesto that you gave there. You have to withdraw it. Then you write another one, a new one. So these people, they think we are fools in the Cameroons. They don't know that they cannot be saying their manifesto is already there. Then again, I understand in the Cameroons, they have a certain time that they have to start campaign for political or presidential election. But they are already campaigning when there is, I don't know, a certain time that the law permits that they must start campaign. Then again, as if this is not enough, our journalists in the Cameroons, they will call one person to come on their TV. If you call one person to come on your television, you have to make sure that you call all the presidential candidates, including Mr. Biya, or else they will say it's impartiality. They don't even know about that. You cannot call one presidential candidate and interview them without calling all the other ones, including Mr. Biya, or else you're not following the ethics of journalism. Ladies and gentlemen, my point is this. Why I was calling the name, usually I don't call people's name too much, of Barrister Akeremuna. Barrister Akeremuna, you should understand that the problem of the people of British Southern Cameroon, it is not about federalism. It is a unique identity. Like the people of Canada, they have a distinct French culture, cultural heritage. They speak French language. It is their official language, different from the other parts of Canada. They have a civil legal system, different from the other part of Canada. That's what is happening. So you should make this point clear to the people of the Cameroons. Our problem is not federalism. We, like the people of Quebec, we can have our official language if we want to English. La République can have their official language as French. You don't need to join them. It doesn't work that way. Even as I said, United Kingdom haven't got an official language. English is just the de facto official language. The people of Scotland, they have a distinct legal system, educational system, history that is different from England. That is why they have the separate parliament. Don't be fooling us with regional, how do you call it? Regional assembly. Then you divide Northwest and Southwest assembly. No, it has to be one. Nobody is joining any person. The cultural, English cultural heritage is what about educational system, legal system, policing, and other aspects. That is it. So if we come and sit in a parliament, we talk about those things we have in common. Everybody goes, you are not a region. Southwest region is not an identity. Northwest region is not an identity. Littoral is not an identity. Bakore could be an identity. Bafo could be an identity. So let's stop fooling people. Say, I'm Northwest, I'm Southwest. You cannot be Northwest and Southwest. You cannot be Westerner, you cannot be Central South. Those are not identity. La République have got two identities. Their indigenous ethnicities and the inherited identity from France. British Southern Cameroon have got two identities. Our indigenous ethnicities and our inherited culture from England. That's it. Those are identity. Region is not an identity. Ladies and gentlemen, I started by saying, if you obtain something illegally, it doesn't mean it belongs to you. Article 47 of the Federal Constitution of 1961 made it clear. Any revision of the Constitution that impair the unity and integrity of the Federation was inadmissible. So impair could mean anything that will cause damages to our unity and integrity of the Federation is inadmissible. Mark the word inadmissible. It means not accepted as valid. So the fact that La République du Cameroon changed Article 47 of the Federal Constitution of 1961, it is inadmissible, which means it is not acceptable. It is not valid. It is not legal. So why are we living under an illegal government since after 1972? Illegal government. That's what is happening. Barrister Akeremuna should know this. I expect the learned barrister Akaremuna to be talking about this, but he doesn't. Ladies and gentlemen, our worst enemy is our own self-Anglophone. Barrister Akaremuna knows what I'm talking about, and he is silent. I've never heard him talking about these things. The UN General Assembly Resolution 1608 that was adopted on the 21st of April 1961 about the future of the trusteeship territory in British Southern Cameroons. They made it clear the aftermath of the UN-sponsored plebiscite. After that, they made it clear that British Southern Cameroons and La République du Cameroun, they have to set the condition of a political union, political entity. Ladies and gentlemen, when Scotland and England, they signed the Union Treaty, is it in 1707? It was a political union, not to annex one person's identity. They had a central form of government. Scotland used to have a separate parliament 300 years ago. England had a separate parliament 300 years ago. So they came together now to form a political entity, not one country. Political entity is different from a country. Under that centralized form of government, Scotland remained Scotland. They had their name. They still have it until today. England remained England after 300 years ago. So it was a political union. So Resolution 1608 between La République du Cameroun and British Southern was a political union. Even if after they changed the federalism, they came to a centralized form of government, we would have still remained La République du Cameroun, British Southern Cameroon, or West Cameroon, East Cameroon. That country, you should have maintained it. That's the Anglophone problem. The Anglophone problem is not transfer of power. It's not to say, okay, I've given you decentralization, federation. No, that's not the Anglophone problem. It's identity, like Quebec, Catalonian, like Scotland, like Flemish, the Basque separatists. That's the Anglophone problem. It is not the form of a state. Maybe we can agree. La République du Cameroon want to stay where you want a centralized form of government. Then you identify that we are a different country, we differ, you two, then we can stay together. That's it. That is the thing that some of my lecturers in the university, they don't know. That is the thing that most legal practitioners, they don't know. There is a difference between the Anglophone problem, the identity, and the form of a state. If you can give us federalism, whether it's two-state federalism, whether it's 50-state federalism, but you have to identify that two countries came together. Resolution 1608 of the UN General Assembly makes it clear. The two governments have to come together. Can you have a different government if you're not a country? People keep on mixing it. Oh, we did not have independence before that. We don't care. A country doesn't need independence. England is not independent. Scotland is not independent. Wales is not independent. Northern Ireland is not independent. All of them, they are inside United Kingdom. La République du Cameroun is existing in that space. Where is British Southern Cameroon? That is the problem. That is the problem. Paragraph 5 of Resolution 1608 made it clear that the two countries should come under a federal states, 2 countries. They have federation, two countries. These 2 countries, as the population increases, Southern Cameroon should have had more states or autonomy inside Southern Cameroon, and they create, instead of say regions like Northwest, Southwest, we can start separating more region inside Northwest and Southwest. That's how you do it. La Republic du Cameroon took add their own region inside their own, whether it's center or what, they add it as the population increases. That's how you do it. You don't identify us to be regions or provinces. Quebec is a province in Spain, but they are autonomous. They don't identify them as province. Province is administrative unit. Catalan is a province, a region in Spain, but they don't identify them as a province or a region. It's not their identity. Scotland is a region in the United Kingdom. They don't identify them as a region because region is not an identity. It's an administrative unit. These are things that I expect people like Barrister Akeremuna, somebody who was called at Lincoln's Inn in London in 1978, to be explaining it to people. But they just said they will give you federalism. How does federalism solve that problem? You people are the one going about confusing our people. You cannot tell them the truth. The 2 governments of Southern Cameroon and La Republique du Cameroon, they were supposed to have a conference and set the terms of the union. And that terms of a union is not about constitution, because a constitution are fundamental principle to govern a country. Your human right, your civil right, your right to protest, your right not to be tortured, that's your citizens' right in a constitution. Then the form of a government, the function of a government, that's the job of a constitution. Because a union treaty was never signed doesn't mean we cannot sign one today. When something in English law, when you fail to do something, they'll look at the spirit of the agreement. They call it the spirit. The spirit of that agreement was what? That's why in England, they say we have an unwritten constitution. In the United Kingdom, the spirit was what? 2 countries came together. We came on equal status. We have our own English identity and indigenous identity. La Republique had their own. That was the spirit. So even if it was not written, that is how they would interpret it in a court of law. La Republique have annexed us. Instead of equal status, they thought annexation is okay. My point is, what are they gaining to annex somebody? As a father, if I have grown-up children, I distribute the job for them to be dealing with the thing. It will be easier for me. Why do you want to sit in a 2D and make decision about people that you don't know? In Guzan, in Kambe, in Wum, in Mundemba, in Manfe. How can you do that? You have to leave the people to have the power, distribute the money, put our different identity. That's how you run a country. You cannot be in a 2D and you say you centralize power. Why is this happening? The reason you centralize power is easy. So that France and Western countries, they should be taking our diamonds, our cocoa, our timber, our bauxite, our iron ore. You give everything to Pectin, Glencoe, Savannah Energy, all those are commercial banks. That is why you're centralizing power. You're not centralizing power for the interest of the people of the Cameroons. Because I wouldn't like to centralize power. You cannot do everything because you don't know. Local people, they know what to do. My local council, local government, they are the one who look after us. It's not the prime minister. When they are changing everything, the roads, the building, the light, is local council. It has got nothing to do with the prime minister of this country. There are other important business that the prime minister of the country is doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to end up with this. When you say we have two identity, they say, oh, Cameroon is one and indivisible. Then they take British Southern Cameroon, they annex it, is not existing. So why don't you take all the ethnicities? Example, I'll use just one example. Why don't you take all the ethnicities in Cameroon and turn all Bakwere, Bafo, Douala, Bulu, and say all of them they are Douala? You put it under one umbrella. No, we don't want disunity. One and indivisible, put it under one. That's what you have done. You have taken two separate cultural heritage. You have taken one, the English minority, which your constitution says you protect them, and put it inside French. We are not existing because you want to assimilate us, because you want to integrate us. And that task is very impossible because you don't develop most villages in British Southern Cameroon, so you couldn't succeed. Sometimes if you want to even try and integrate people, you tar the road, give them electricity, give them their right, then maybe they will even fall for what you're doing. So as I was saying, how come that we are, what La Republic of Cameroon have done, two separate countries, different culture, equal status, what they have done, it's like the Douala people come and say Cameroon is one and indivisible. All the 250 tribes, they should be under Douala. That's what La Republique is doing. Then everybody should speak Douala. So how come that you recognize our different ethnicities, which is that's who we are? Why can't you be using all the official languages? 250, what's wrong with that? Must you speak French? Must you speak English? But you are comfortable to come and tell us that the Cameroon is bilingual. When I see ministers, educated people, they say Cameroon is bilingual. Cameroon is not bilingual. The Cameroon is multilingual. It's not bilingual. Those things you call dialect are languages. In Western world, you call them designer. In Africa, you call them what? You call them what? Tailor, shoe mender. That our indigenous, you call it dialect, they are languages. We are multicultural. And British Cameroon National Party will make sure that all the indigents, they must be teaching their language in their area where they come, compulsory in all the schools. When we can study Spanish, German language, French, English, Italian in the Cameroons, why is it that we don't study our own mother tongue? That's treason. So ladies and gentlemen, today I came to talk about that because they changed the constitution and say a unity form of state, which was illegal. The constitution said inadmissible. Inadmissible means it's not accepted. So if you use a legal means to do something, an illegal means rather, because, example, if I go and steal your car, I change your car, I put my name there, everything. If I'm caught, they realize that the car was stolen. The car doesn't belong to me. They will give it back to the real owner. So if you go and change the Constitution, Article 47, which says that any revision of the Constitution that impaired the unity and integrity of the Federation was inadmissible, not accepted, not valid, because you people are there running us with military and force, it doesn't make the government legal. Ladies and gentlemen, as I tell you, the government of the Cameroon is illegitimate, is illegal. Whether they like it or not, equal status will come. Whether they go to their fake election, they will win it, it doesn't change anything. British Cameroon National Party doesn't use force. We use the laws of the Cameroons, including Article 65, and get our freedom. We don't want France to control us. We don't want France to be using money on us. Scotland have got different money from England. They are United Kingdom. Scotland have got different legal system from England. They are still United Kingdom. In a country, it doesn't mean everybody must be doing the same thing. You can be doing your own things. I might decide, maybe I was born in womb, I can stay in womb for the rest of my life without traveling. That is my country. So this fake national identity that you people want to make, it doesn't exist in any country on earth. We are all different. Unity is about diversity. So once more, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a political leader. I come and scrutinize the other political party. If you want vex, vex. That's how in a democracy, that's what people do. I know you people are afraid to come and debate with Metro Moran and Illegitimate. I know the shame for talk. I overknow. You people don't want to come and debate. It's not my fault. I hope future political leaders in the Cameroons will meet. I want to train young people of the Cameroons how to do politics. You sit and debate with people. Not this your type of politics. You come and sit, you're talking like Biya, Cameroonese. This is once in a while. That's not politics. You sit there, a journalist asks question for maybe 8 people, the same question on economy, on immigration, on other things. Then all of you give your answer. Then the voters, they will have a choice. But if all of you go and be sitting in front of TV, you talk, I will do this, I will do this. Why have you not done those things? I'm still surprised. Why have you not done it? How many of you were talking when they were beating Biya University, beating lawyers and this, you were silent? How many of you, when they changed the federal constitution, you were talking nothing? How many of you were fighting with us for multipartyism? I did not see you people. Most of you presidential hopeful. How many of you were fighting for GC but nothing? How many of you, when we fought that we won multipartyism, most of you are MP? We did not see you people. Actions speak louder than words. In a democracy, they vote for people who are proactive, activism. Most politicians in Western countries, they are activists because they don't need to be in power to bring change. They start fighting, even they are not in power. If you look at most of the presidential hopeful, things have been going wrong in the country. None of them, they don't bother. They will just come and run away from the government and come and stand. I want to be president. No, it doesn't work that way. You vote for people by them showing your CV. What have you been doing? Metro Mola Alex Develising all this while. I knew the government was corrupt. I refused to work with the government of the Cameroons. I stood and I knew our English-speaking part of the Cameroons, they were suffering. We fought hard. They called for a major national dialogue. I did my best. I challenged them there. They had no plan. It was just decentralization. And after that, they came with a fake special statute and regional assembly and fake decentralization. That's how, if you can be fighting while you're not in power, it tells you that if you're in power, you will do better because you'll be using taxpayer money there. So ladies and gentlemen, once more, this has been a party political broadcast by myself, Maitre Mola Alex Develising, the leader of British Cameroon National Party. Have a wonderful evening.
Un pauvre qui vote pour celui qui l'a rendu pauvre. Si on était bien au pays, est-ce qu'on allait prendre la route de l'étranger? Après le président. À l'Assemblée, il y a un vieux. Vraiment. Au Sénat, il y a un vieux. Wonderful. À la présidence, il y a un vieux. Dans tout le gouvernement, il n'y a que des vieux. Des vieux. Des vieux, des jeunes prennent le chemin de la Libye pour devenir des esclaves. Des jeunes prennent la route le pouvoir avec vos amis. Vous partagez le pays avec vos familles. Vous partagez le pays avec vos familles. Et après quand ils ont volé, vous appelez les papiers, les attrapés. Et après quand ils ont volé, vous appelez les papiers, les attrapés. Qui les avait nommés d'abord dans ce poste-là? C'est toi qui les avais nommés, papa. Tu as oublié, tu as seulement oublié. C'est toi qui les avais nommés.